The day had arrived for this red-tailed hawk at the Rowena Wildlife Clinic to be released back into the wild. The release was planned for right on the property, as the bird originally came from close by. Fish and Wildlife had found the raptor in the Dalles. When this bird arrived, he was a little bit thin with a displaced bone. Dr. Seifer explained the injuries before she went into the raptor cage to capture him for his release.
On birds, the radius, it's the same as us. It's this bone, but it's a lot smaller than the ulna. It's kind of the opposite of us. We have a larger radius and a smaller ulna. So this bone is just displaced a little bit this direction, dorsally. So it was so minor, and it's not an area that you can really operate on.
How long have you had him?
3 months.
Red-tailed hawks are adapted for life in the air. It's one of the largest birds you'll see in North America, yet even the biggest females weigh in at only 3 pounds. You would imagine a bird like this would be able to fly away from a handler, but Dr. Seifer knew exactly how to catch it in a net and got it on her first try.
It's okay, my pet. It's all right. I know. That's an awkward way to catch you, isn't it?
Awkward to the bird, but not to Dr. Seifer, who deftly took the raptor out of the net and on its way to freedom. But not before she surprised me with a sudden offer to release the bird myself. I was thrilled to be entrusted with the task, and listened carefully as she instructed how to hold the bird with its legs crossed.
And then when you go to release him, just any way you throw him up, but just a little toss kind of towards the trees, and hopefully he won't just land on the ground, because he's just kind of a baby.
How old is this? It's just kind of a baby,
He's a 2-year-old, but he just has these...
He's looking pretty hungry.
He's got a full crop. That's the other reason why he probably won't fly. He just ate a ton.
So like that.
Yeah. And we'll just kind of aim him.
Getting to hold a red-tailed hawk, I think.
Maybe towards up in here, and hopefully he won't just go down into the bushes. He's so stupid about looking around, but...
Okay, are you ready, buddy?
And you can kind of give a couple of little test things, like you're going to chuck a baseball.
I'm going to kind of like under...
Give him a good old, yeah.
He's very calm. I'm surprised he's not
If
like
all
my
else
chickens
fails,
who
we can
try
just
to
put
get
him on the
away.
ground. It's just his behavior. Every time I go in there, he would just sit and look at me until I
give him a
chase him
few.
around.
Yeah.
You ready?
We're ready.
Okay.
I'm sorry. This is just him. He's such a baby. Now he's going to...
posing for the camera.
Yeah, now he'll sit there and go back on his tail and put his talons out to attack you. And after we all leave in about 15 minutes, he'll finally hop up into a tree and fly well.
Well, as my photographer Mark Hemingway put it, my release of this red-tailed hawk wasn't exactly a National Geographic moment. Dr. Seifer explained that this was exactly how she expected the hawk to react. Young birds tend to freeze like this when they are scared. And even though he didn't soar off into the sky, we enjoyed one last chance to see him up close.
Well, he's a 2-year-old, so he's got a lot of experience. I'm sure he'll be just fine.
Even with the spread out wings and the hiding in the bush.
Acting like a baby, I think that's pretty typical of the red tails. Actually, the red tails come in a couple of different personalities. Some of the males are like this, fairly mellow, and they just kind of freeze if they're worried. Some of them are really skittish, and those ones are actually a lot harder to keep in captivity, because they just act kind of nervous and frightened all the time. And the females are always kind of even-tempered, but a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, that bird was amazingly easy to hold. I mean, I have chickens at home, and they're harder than that.
He's always been nice.
Red-tailed hawks are one of the most common raptors in North America. You can always spot one along the highway, it seems like. But for me, after this release, I will always look to the hills above Rowena and remember the one I got to release, and hope it's him I see soaring in the sky. If you find an injured or orphaned animal here in the Columbia River Gorge, it is probably suffering from shock, dehydration, malnutrition, in addition to its injuries. Dr. Seifer recommends putting the animal in an enclosed and padded box and bringing it indoors where it can be away from the weather, harsh environment, and also other predators, and giving the Rowena Wildlife Clinic a call. Their number is 541-478-2584. She also says you can call your local veterinarian and they'll put you in touch with the clinic. Thank you so much to everyone at the Rowena Wildlife Clinic for being part of this show and for making a difference in the Columbia River Gorge.